Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd show you a preview of the Skaar-Slica, and it's almost done. So I'm gonna go with that name. Actually, it is done. I think it's 100% done right now. I said almost done, but that's a little bit incorrect. So I even did the lighting and the sensors and everything else now too. Made a lot of body changes since the last time I showed it. I overhauled the texturing a little bit more on it. I rebuilt this cockpit area. And I did this. It was based on a comment saying it was kind of restrictive view and things like that. And I was like, yeah, it is kind of. The view did kind of stink from the pilot seat. So I changed the whole way it was done over here. Used some different kind of glass and things like that. Also popped in a couple of these structural frame blocks on the sides here to make this angle kind of line up with the other part, give you that nice smooth curve there. Side effect with that is I cannot color these properly. They only color based on the original color palette, not any custom color palettes. Like these are supposed to be the orange, but I can't do that. So I did them the only color I could, and you can't texture these things either. So I cannot change the texture on this block. But I thought the pros outweighed the cons, as I really liked that smoothness that provides having those blocks there. Another thing I did is I rebuilt these rear thruster mounts. So they're a thinner, a little bit more detailed design with some more blockwork stuff going on the sides there. I did a lot of little changes throughout the ship. I had to go a little bit lighter on strafing thrust, and I replaced the one of the 1x2 thrusters with a 1x1 per side, so I could use that CPU to pop in a couple more lift thrusters on the front of the ship over here. It has 200K ammo storage in it, and I was worried that with just those, with just these lift thrusters, it was going to have too much of a problem getting off the ground if you loaded it up with ammo. So that hopefully will balance that a little bit better, but it did reduce the strafing some. So let's go inside. I'll show you what's going on here, and we can look at the specs. So inside you got two floors. Base floor is kind of your utility area, hangout area. It does have a full medical bay in here. I wasn't actually planning on doing that, but I had kind of the room to do it with. And this stuff really doesn't cost much in CPU at all. So you have a medical bay, your O2, a fridge. It has a shower, detector, pentaxid tank. And then you have an armor locker, armor repair, cargo box over here. Then a location to put in a warp core, and then one improved core in this location. As we walked in, there's a spot for a second improved core, and then two shield parts, or small shield parts here. So one is intended to go in this slot right here, and the other is intended to go over the two dotted lines right there. So when we go up to the next floor, you got your pilot seat, co-pilot seat. The main core is right over here with the light. Yeah, I picked this up from some other creations I looked at. I thought it was a good idea and said I was going to use it someday, and darn it, I did. And then a third shield part here, and then a spot for another T1 or 1x3 generator in that location. And that's pretty much its upgrades. So two improved cores, one shield, up to 3 shield parts, 1 generator. Is basically what it's intended to upgrade. Of course, there's some extra room in here, and like if you were cleaned up this area more and got rid of the table and stuff, you could dump some more sizable parts in here, maybe another generator, CPU blocks, or something like that. But I couldn't really do that and make like nice looking homes for that kind of thing. But you have some options. I mean, if you're going to mod it or customize it or something like that. And then, of course, the 200K ammo, and that's basically these blocks over along the sides here. So there's no ammo or no cargo extensions on the exterior of the ship. It doesn't really matter, though, because the exterior of the ship's actually built with carbon substrate, except for the hardened steel area around the nose and a little bit in back, like kind of below the thruster there. Because there's a fuel tank down in there, and I was trying to protect that a little bit more. But that is pretty much the ship. So spec-wise, it's got just about a little bit over 3,000 CPU left over from the 400,000. It does 115 forward, 19 strafing. It used to be 27. That change in the thrusters lowered that down to 19. But it also raised the lift thrust up to 38, which I felt was going to be kind of almost necessary for the amount of ammo storage it has in it. And then 27 reverse. It has 2 fuel tanks, but they're the biggest type. So honestly, it doesn't need more than that. It can fly a long time. It's not a very gas guzzling ship, comparatively speaking. So I mean, you get several hours after fill up on this one. Only has 1 oxygen tank. Maybe that's a little bit light, but it seems to work fine. And it's got a very small oxygen area and 1 ventilator, so it seems to last quite a long time. And but I'm sure there's probably a location I could dump another one in there. But if someone wants to, they can do that. 10 these light colonist missile turrets and 2 advanced laser cannons, and then of course the detector for the armament. 3 hour and 9 minute build time. It does require about 500 estrium and zirconium in here, but it's for the most part not too bad. I mean, you're going to need these 2 things, but not a huge quantity necessarily. But you know, it's kind of like not a starter ship, but it's trying to be a starter ship with the CPU at least. But I don't know, it could kind of work maybe, because it's not going to break the bank, and it does give you, well, especially if it works. You know, we'll find that out in the challenge here. But kind of a low cost combat CV, you know, thing that you could do. I mean, spawn in the game as kind of what this challenge is about. I don't know if a lot of people would do it. I guess it depends on your play style and things like that, but it doesn't really break the bank on what it costs. If it can perform decently enough, it might be worthwhile, you know, in game to try something like this out. It's hard to say, you know. It's not my typical play type. I would probably be roaming around mining with a starter CV for a longer period of time until I acquired enough resources to get something that was above this class of ship for combat, or just upgrade the heck out of the starter CV, whatever one I was using, and try to do what this ship is doing with that ship. But it's I don't know, it might come in handy to have something like this around in game. We'll see. But that's pretty much all I got today. Just kind of wanted to go over all the specs on this and show you what it's about, what it looks like, and all the changes and stuff done to it. And I plan on releasing this Friday, I believe, after the look at the workshop video. And tomorrow, I was going to release it tomorrow, and then I dawned on me it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'm not going to be here to release it, and I don't really have any more time today to do that either. So. But at least it's done, and I can get going on this guy again, which I've been kind of jonesing to do. It's just I wanted to get that out of the way before I got into this one again, because there's a lot of work to do on this one yet, and that's pretty much the whole insides, and probably, I'm sure, more hull and body tweaks and other things. And I'll try to do some videos and show you what's going on with this one, and try to do some kind of like build videos on this too, layout, and maybe do a couple rooms that way or something like that. Other than that, that's all I've got today. Let me know what you think, and I do appreciate the comments, definitely. You know, like one of the comments, you know, saying about the restrictive windows. I was gonna originally just leave what I had there, and then I was like, well, it does kind of suck, and maybe it could be better. And so I dove into it, and I actually like the new design better. I think it looks nicer, and it provides better visibility than what was there before. So yeah, I appreciate those comments. I mean, constructive criticism. That's cool stuff. As long as you don't come out and just rag on everything just to be a jerk. I do really appreciate people pointing out things that I make mistakes on, or things that could be improved, even if I don't want to hear it at the time. I mean, there's certain times where it's like you get something done and you got all this time in it, and someone's like, well, that's not going to work out very well because of this, and that. And then you might instantly get annoyed because it's like, oh, I don't want to redo it all again. But, you know, at the end of the day, if that information was correct and you spent a little bit more time and improved on the design, it was all worth it. And that's exactly what, you'd want constructive criticism to do for you. So, and I do appreciate that. So anyway, y'all have yourself a great day and a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. And I'll be back Friday with another look at the workshop video and hopefully get this out to the workshop as well. And I will see you later.